Okay, welcome to the functions and classes class. That was mouthful. So this is a new class and it's for functions and classes. We'll try to do this together, but we are not going to go deeply into functions and classes. We are just going to hit the surface, and I would like you to do a lot of research, ask your questions when necessary, and as you go along this course or as you voyage along, you are going to learn a lot about functions and also classes. So, what's a function? A function is actually what um, performs a particular task, and the endpoint of a function is to perform a task. It must give an output. So an example of a function is our main entry right here. This main entry right here, what it does, it performs a task. And what is that task? It runs our that program. You see, and we can actually create an example. Yeah, an is um, example is display. Okay, print um print my name on the screen. And for you to have a function, then you need to do this. So this is the name of your function, and this is where, let's say, if you have some input you want to put in the function, then this is where it's going to be. And then this block is where you're going to write the body of your function. So let's use our print statement right here, and then I'm going to print Paul, and then let's run this. So if I run this, you see nothing happens. So we would need, for this to run, we would need to call it on the main. So to call your function, you need to go to the main, paste it, just write it or however way. Then at the end, you you add the semicolon and just this. So I'm sure this look very familiar to you, to the print we are using. So that simply tells you that print is a function. So a lot of things is a function in that, and a lot of things are classes too. So if we run this now, you can see that we have Paul, right? And then when I said that a function can have an input, can collect an input, and also can perform a task, this is what I mean. And so we have an input. So to um, we call an input of a function parameters or arguments. So let's say in this argument, I'll be using arguments and parameter interchangeably. So just know that. So in this argument, I'm going to collect whatever we are going to be using on the main, and then I'm going to print it down here. So in the main, you can see that if I over on this, you see they say one positional argument expected. So what it means is it wants you to write a string right here. So we are going to do Paul Jeremiah. So whatever we do here and then run is going to print. It's going to take the value of this, get it through this parameter, and then we can use it inside here, right? And if we run this, it gives us Paul Jeremiah. So let's do something. Let's write a function that sums two numbers. So I'm going to remove this, and now I'm going to write sum, and then we are going to collect two different integer. That's going to be a and integer b, and then this is going to return. So there's a new keyword, return. What does the return do? It returns whatever thing you actually do. I'm going to explain that better. So we are going to do a plus b, right? And this function is going to return an integer, right? And for you to give a function a type, you just need, in the front of that function, you just need to do the type. What kind of type that function is. But if you don't do that, if you over on this, you can see that the function is dynamic. That means it can be of any type, can be of integer, string, whatever type could be, can return that. So I'm going to make it an integer, and for us to do this, we are going to write some two different numbers. We are going to do a store these two different number, which is 10, and we are going to do b, which is 20, right? And then in this sum, right, we are going to call the sum and then pass in a and b, right? And if we run this, nothing's happened, but something actually happens. It's just that we did not see it on the screen. So how do we actually see it on the screen? Is for us to assign this sum to a variable. So we are going to do integer results is equals to sum this, and then we are going to print this result. Print result, and then if we print this result and run, and then you can see that we have 30. So we calculate the sum of a and b and store it in this result and then print it out. You see what we did there? So and so we can actually, you can actually use functions to solve your mathematical formulas. Like you can write some formulas using functions and then passing different numbers. Let's say you're doing simultaneous equation, you pass in the x and y, or you're doing quadratic equation. You just need to write the calculation or the formula with the variables here, and then you can use that to perform whatever thing you want to perform. So by the time we end this course, I'm going to give you an exercise. I'm not going to tell you now, but I'm going to give you an exercise to do something for me. So the next thing we are going to do with this is to calculate. Let's calculate something. Let's find the formula of something. So let's see something. Formula for calculating calculating a parameter of a cycle, or parameter of a square. So it's 4 times the sides. So let's say so 4 times the sides. Now we know. Let's go in here and see how this can be done. So it always have okay, the sides. So we can do calculate the parameter of a square, right? And then what we just need to do is this is going to return an integer, and then the return right here is going to be, this is going to collect the side. So the side are all the same, so we are going to do int side, and then we can do 4 times side, right? And then with this we can just do the same thing we did here, and results square results, and then we use this here, and then use this here, and then let's say we pass the sides as 10, and then we print out this. And if I run this, you can see we have the last print is 40. So 4 times 10 is 40. That's like calculating that. And one of the thing, let's say we don't want this part of the code to run. What do we need to do is for us to comment it out. So it's one of the things I've not told you guys. So to comment out something, you just need to um, highlight all of it, and then let's say on your machine you can do control slash, and it's going to do that. Or you actually just put um, double slash on the front of your code. So you just put it like this, it's going to comment it out. So if we run this, then this part of this code is not going to run. And you can actually use comments as a documentation. So in the front right here, we can say this code calculates the parameter of a square, and save that. So if I let's say if I bring this up, if I bring this up and paste it here and save, you know, if I sorry, it shouldn't be here, it should be here, it should be outside here, it should be in this function. And if I over on this, you can see that there is something here called this code calculate the parameter of a cycle. Is actually what is, so you can document your code with with what's it called, with comments. So this is our code comments in that. Okay, so let's head over to classes.